Kathryn Frederick is the State Supervisor for Architecture and Construction and Energy Programs at the Florida Department of Education. In her work, she collaborates with expert educators and industry professionals to create, review, and update educational programs in the architecture and construction and energy career clusters for Florida's middle schools, high schools, technical centers, and colleges. This is when I really love doing this because I really find out where Kathryn came from. And I love this part. Prior to joining the Department of Education, Kathryn worked as a research assistant in the University of Florida's Rinker School of Building Construction while earning her Master's of Science in Building Construction. Through this experience, she conducted field research on solar-based water pumping and other sustainable construction technologies at the University of Nairobi in Kenya. Kathryn is also a licensed interior designer and has 3 years of experience working in the architecture industry. She's designed a variety of projects in Florida and Georgia in the office, healthcare, and residential market sectors. And every time we sit and talk to her, I learn so much. Thank you, Kathryn. Here you go.
Well, thank you for having me here today. Whenever I come to these events, I learn so much that I can take back to the Florida Department of Education and use to continually improve our energy programs. So I'm just going to give you a brief update as to some things that I've been working on at the Department of Education. And I'm going to focus today on program reviews, industry certifications, and some really awesome energy-related events that I think you all should know about. We'll start with program reviews. Every year I review about a third of my programs. And to do that, I get together with my expert educators and their local industry members to revise the program and keep it current for today's market. So last year in 2013, I reviewed the energy technician program and the turbine generator program, and also both of the solar PV and solar thermal post-secondary adult vocational programs. These changes will go into effect for the 2014-15 school year. This year, I'm reviewing all 3 of my middle school programs, the electrical line service and repair program, which is a post-secondary adult vocational program, and all of the college programs that I have. And those are the Electrical Distribution Technology program and the Electrical Power Technology program, and all of the associated college credit certificates that go along with those programs. A lot of you here today have helped me with program reviews in the past and are going to be helping me with these again this year, and I'm very appreciative for all your time and expertise that you put into making these programs really great. So I have some updates on industry certifications I'd like to tell you about. This year, the Florida Department of Education has a brand new post-secondary industry certification funding list. When a student at a tech center or a college achieves an industry certification on this list, that school district or college will receive $1,000 for every industry certification on the list that that student is able to achieve. And so far, we have 2 energy-related industry certifications on the list. They're both administered by the Electronics Technician Association International, and they are the photovoltaic installer and the small wind installer level 1 certifications. So there's more information on the ETA website specifically about these industry certifications. And then if you want to take a look at what else is on the post-secondary industry funding list, it's on the Florida Department of Education website on the Division of Career and Adult Education page. And lastly, there are a couple events that I think that you should know about. The first one is Careers in Energy Week. That is the third week of every October. The governor of Florida signs a proclamation every year proclaiming this week as Careers in Energy Week. And the week is dedicated to raising awareness about the importance of energy careers. And every year during this event, the Florida Energy Workforce Consortium sponsors a competition that's open to all high school students in the state of Florida. It's typically an essay contest or a video contest on some aspect of careers in energy. And the last event that I'd like to tell you all about is the Florida Energy Teachers Network. This was set up by the Florida Energy Workforce Consortium, and every year they get together with teachers from around Florida who teach energy programs, and they get together to network, to talk about the programs that are offered throughout the state of Florida and the curriculum that's used to teach those programs. And sometimes we even review curriculum frameworks in those meetings. This happens every June for 2 days. And it's usually somewhere in Florida. In the past, it's been at Gulf Power's headquarters in Pensacola. Last year, it was at the NCCER headquarters. When I have an exact date and location, I'll forward that information on so that more people can come to it. In the past, it's typically been for, well, most of the instructors who've attended have been secondary teachers, but I'm hoping to see a lot more middle school teachers as middle school energy programs become more common throughout the state. And then I also really want to open it up to tech center instructors and college instructors so that they can build relationships with secondary high school teachers so they can talk about the programs that they offer at the next level, and they can share that with their students back at the high schools. So that's all I have for today. At this time, I can take any questions that you may have. Yes, Marilyn?
How are the levels determined and who does that? Because those certificates are level 1?
They're level 1 as determined by the ETA International, the organization that developed the industry certifications. And I did speak with someone from that company, and they said that they're in the process of developing higher levels, level 2, maybe level 3, but they have not yet been developed at this time.
Those are the levels for
The industry certification. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just curious, as far as the, you mentioned 2014 review of post-secondary programs related to power distribution, is there in place already a standard certification that you follow, that industry accepts for those areas?
You mean like an industry certification?
Yes. You have the
Those-
or NABS
yeah.
renewable. Is there something similar that Florida focuses on for power distribution?
At this time, I think that NCCER may have some industry certifications for distribution, but at this time, they're, I don't believe that they're on any of the lists yet. So that would also be a good question for some of the schools that offer that program. I know that that program is offered at South Florida State College at the college level, and then there's also a post-secondary adult vocational program that is offered at Lake Sumter, I believe. Lake Sumter State College, so if anyone is from, is
We
here?
work with a number of Department of Energy projects at the post-secondary level, and it's all very much about being a specific utility company partner right now, as opposed to
Mhm.
across the board certification of experience companies and boards.
Okay. Yes.
Are the certifications only good for the students to be able to work under a company, or is the licensing where they can go out beyond as well?
I I would think that they could use it however the student sees fit. I would recommend going to the ETA International website and finding out more about the industry certification. It is new. You could also ask the organization about the other certifications that they currently have in place and how students or people who achieve those certifications, how they're using them. Yes?
Roy made an interesting statement earlier that best teaching is about solving important problems. In what way are the initiatives that you have connected to the kind of problems that these guys are trying to solve? Because I feel like I work with students here on this campus, and their perspective about science is this big, and what I'm seeing is perspective from you gentlemen that's huge. Or even the hot rods, or looking at alternative technology in a much larger way. I feel like our science education, in a lot of ways, in the K-12 area, which is where I came from before I was here, is very narrow, and it seems dull, frankly. And science is quite exciting, especially if we walk around this kind of place. So,
Yeah.
sorry about the convoluted question, but are there programs for these students that connect them to this kind of thing?
Well, the cool thing about the type of education that I work in is that it's career and technical education. And students, they can get into this as early as middle school now, and they can take it at the middle school level, high school level. They can go to a tech center or to a state college. But what's really cool is that it's all hands-on, it's applied learning. And I think that that's very engaging for a lot of students. And the other cool thing is that, a student can get started at like the middle school level or the high school level. Maybe they'll go and work after high school for a little bit. They can always come back. They can go to a tech center. They can go to a college. A student could go into the electrical power technology program here at Palm Beach State College. They could get their 2-year degree, or they could get maybe just a college credit certificate, gain some really great skills to go out and make a decent living. They can always come back and transfer, into the higher level. They can come back and, complete that 2-year degree, or they can move on to a program at FAU and, continue to learn and progress in their field. So.
One more question.
Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm here.
that's all right. That's all right.
No, sir, go ahead.
Okay. I teach at FAU, and I really I'm glad to see you here, because you kind of tie a lot of the things that we need together. We prepare courses for Broward School STEM schedule, science, technology, engineering. We develop solar and energy modules for them. At the same time, we also teach the course for FPL in the summer for their solar course that they fund for us to teach. And what I see in all of those is that regardless of the age of the kids, they all, can be engaged with these hands-on projects and the education. And for you to kind of deal with all of those is, I think, very important. The other thing that kind of came through, and I see a lot, and I think there is a need for, and I don't know if you have any programs along those lines, is on the professional side, on the licensing, and on the permitting side, we see a lot of holes. A lot of the installers, a lot of the engineers see at each city and at each of the permitting offices a lot of confusion about solar energy and so forth and so on. So I would like to ask you if you have anything in the works. I don't know if I'm making the noise, or if you have anything in the works with regards to the licensing board and working with them for education of the people who do the permitting in the buildings. And since you have a construction background, I'm really interested in hearing what you have to say. We still have basically inspectors in parts of Florida that have not seen a solar PV or a panel. And this creates really, I mean, they know the hot water, but when they see and I mean, it's kind of strange because, you think they would have seen it at least on TV. But we run into this, and I think a general educational sort of for everyone at that level would be really helpful. Do you have anything in the works?
I don't have anything in the works for that, but I would recommend getting in contact with the Division of Business and Professional Regulation in Florida. They might have a better handle on that aspect than I would as someone from Department of Education. But that's a very good question. Mhm.
Yeah, I just had one comment in response to the gentleman. I teach as an adjunct here in power technology. And the one thing that we do, and I think Oleg is responsible, he has a senior project at the end for our seniors where they apply all the technology that they've used and they design things. They design solar-powered cars, they design PLCs to do things. So it's really a culmination of our program, and it's quite exciting for them. I don't know if you've ever attended them.
I have
But-
been to one.
Yeah, so if you've seen that, I think it's really a culmination. They utilize the skills that they've learned, the basic skills, and they apply, and they come up with some phenomenal concepts, ideas, and it's really, I think, a wonderful thing. So I don't know if have you ever been to them, Kathryn?
I have not been to them.
Well, you should be
here
invited
yet,
to it
so-
because it's really something to see. And Oleg, when is it again? End of May?
This year it will be April 29th, Tuesday, from 5 to 7:30.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing to attend. So,
Well, thank you for sharing that with us all.
One more question, because otherwise, sorry.
As a student in the UBT program, and UBB, the Department of Education, I hate that thing. I'm sorry, I don't want to be rude.
We need it.
Okay, I'm trying to talk really.
You still need it.
They want to hear you too.
As a student within this program and with the Department of Education, my issue is about funding as a student, because Pell only goes so far. And if you could take that back up to Tallahassee, I'd be really, really grateful, such as scholarships within these fields for students.
Okay. All right, thanks.